Alright, boys and girls, in today's lesson we will be learning all about geometric shapes. Our objective is the following. Students will understand and identify the attributes meaning the characteristics of different polygons. So let's start. What are shapes? Well, shapes are all around us. Everywhere you go, you'll find shapes. In the following pictures, we can find several different kinds of shapes. In the spiral staircase, we notice maybe a few circles. In the picture of the pyramids, we can see outlines of different shapes and sizes of triangles. And in the skyscraper, the picture with all the buildings, we notice outlines of maybe some rectangles, some triangles, some squares, and other unique shapes. You can also find shapes in signs, such as stop sign, which is a hexagon. You can find shapes in books and other objects. You can even draw shapes. Shapes come in 2D and 3D. We will be focusing specifically on 2D shapes that are flat on a page. They're called 2D because you can only see how tall and how long they are. In order to understand 2D shapes, let's talk about polygons. Polygons are a closed figure that is connected by 3 or more line segments. A line segment is a straight line. And notice how this entire shape is closed. There's no openings. That's what makes it a polygon. Well, what do we notice about this triangle? Yes, it has 3 sides, but it also has 3 corners. When 2 of the line segments meet at one corner, it's also known as an angle. So this triangle has 3 corners, and therefore it has 3 angles. Let's look at some other examples of triangles. Oh, here we go. So again, a triangle has 3 sides, 3 corners, and therefore 3 angles. And these are some other examples of triangles. Even though they all look different, they all share the same attribute or characteristic, which is that they have 3 sides, 3 angles, and 3 corners. Moving on. Let's move on to another group of shapes called quadrilaterals. What are the common attributes for quadrilaterals? Well, all of these shapes have 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They have 4 sides. They also have 4 angles and 4 corners. However, each of these quadrilaterals have a special name, and each of them also have unique properties. Let's explore them a bit further. The first shape, or the first quadrilateral, is a square. We know that a square has 4 sides that are of equal length, and therefore 4 angles. Next, let's move on to a rectangle. A rectangle does not have all equal sides. It has opposite pairs of sides that are of equal length. So let's take a look at the two vertical sides on each end. Over here and over here. That represents one pair of parallel sides, and going across or horizontally, top and bottom, we notice another pair of parallel sides. And both pairs of parallel sides are of different length. Sometimes we often like to say that a square is a special type of rectangle since all sides are equal. Our next shape is a trapezoid. A trapezoid is a 4-sided flat shape with straight sides that has a pair of opposite sides parallel. So only one pair of parallel sides. Notice the other 2 sides, they're not parallel. And in fact, eventually these 2 lines, line AD and line BC, will eventually intersect. That does not make them parallel. Let's see, let's move on. So we can see that we can determine a shape by looking at their specific attributes. Here are some other shapes that we can define by their attributes or characteristics. A pentagon is a shape that has 5 sides. It has 5 sides, it has 5 angles. A hexagon is a shape that has 6 sides. If it has 6 sides, it has 6 angles. And an octagon, oops, there we go. An octagon has 8 sides, or 8 angles. And that is the end of this lesson. So again, remember, we can determine a shape by looking at their attributes.